Yeah. Family, y'all. Just keep it tight, keep it tight, keep it tight. Oh, right. Yeah. Here we go.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Jamie Mathias, pastor of Holy Family Catholic Church in Austin, Texas. On this last Sunday before Lent, we get a glimpse of how God is. In fact, we get a few great images of how the ancient authors of the Bible perceived God to be. The first image from today's reading is a very feminine and maternal image of God. The prophet Isaiah tells us that God cares for us with the same love with which a mother loves her child. When a child cries, his or her mother reaches out to comfort him or her. That's the image with which Isaiah tried to inspire his exasperated compatriots. The Israelites had suffered the humiliation of being conquered and deported from their homeland. Some 50 years later, God was now reaching out to them through Cyrus, the king of Persia, to help them rebuild their lives, their land, and their temple. God had heard the cry of the Israelites and was now stepping in to comfort them in the same way that a mother comforts her child. In today's second reading, Paul gives us a more paternal image of God. Sometimes we're tempted to think that we are the captains of our own ships, the masters of our own destinies. St. Paul had a different perspective, that we are God's servants, that we are here on earth to serve God and others. I was raised in the era of the Baltimore Catechism. In order to receive my first communion, I had to memorize the answers to countless questions. Fortunately, that heresy of making people earn the sacraments of the church was condemned. Question number 6 of the Baltimore Catechism was this: why did God make you? The answer: God made us to know, love, and serve God. And so, at a young age, I understood that we are here on this earth to serve God and others, not vice versa. In fact, the word that St. Paul uses of himself in today's second reading is iperites, which is literally translated an oarsman. Paul didn't see himself as the captain standing up on the deck. He saw himself as the slave, the oarsman in the bottom of the ship, sweating and groaning as he shared in the hard work of rowing. It's a striking image of our relationship to God and one another. We're not the captains of the ship. We're the people all together rowing and moving the ship forward. We're all pitching in for the sake of values much larger than ourselves. For our ancestors in the faith, the boat was an image of the church. Anyone who was in the boat was saved, and those outside it perished. But what are we doing in this boat? We're working together. We're rowing together. We're not slacking off and leaving the work to others. Instead, we're rolling up our sleeves and helping out. Isn't that a great image of how we should live in harmony with one another, living together, working together, rowing together? In today's second reading, Paul also offers us a bit of advice. You see, Paul believed that we would be judged by God alone. He wasn't concerned at all if others wanted to judge him. In fact, in today's second reading, Paul boldly tells the judgmental people of Corinth, "It does not concern me in the least that I be judged by you or any human tribunal. The one who judges me is the Lord." Yes, Paul was judged and persecuted by others, several times in fact, and he simply kept rowing. He kept working. He kept going forward. He didn't worry about what others thought or said. He didn't worry about what others did. He simply trusted that God would take care of him as a mother takes care of her child, and he just kept doing what was his to do. And you? Do you find yourself worrying about what others will think or say? Do you find yourself worrying about what others will do? Do you find yourself worrying about your own future? In today's gospel, Jesus encourages us not to worry, but to trust in God. He tells us, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. God provides for the birds and the flowers, Jesus says. Don't you trust that God will provide for you too? It's an image that takes us back to that great maternal image in today's first reading. In the same way that a mother cares for and provides for her child, God will care for and provide for us. This is exactly why Jesus could dare to say, "Blessed are the poor." The poor have no money or possessions on which to rely. In their poverty and despair, their only hope is to trust that they'll be provided for and that they'll somehow, with the grace of God, survive. Their simple prayer is, "Give us this day our daily bread." They're not worried about tomorrow so much as they're focused on today. And this is exactly why Jesus could say that the children among us are blessed as well. Children, like the poor, simply trust that God will provide for them through people like us. Brothers and sisters, life is filled with enough worries, and Jesus invites us not to worry about tomorrow until tomorrow becomes today. In the meantime, let's be the hands and the heart of Christ, working together, rowing together, and reaching out to those in need with the same love and comfort that mothers have for their children.